everybody! How are you doing? How are you doing? I hope you're all staying safe. Now, very soon is Remembrance Day. Do you know what Remembrance Day is? What is Remembrance Day, Noah? Can you inform us?
It's when you remember loads of people died.
Exactly. It's when you remember all the people that died in the war. And we give them a little prayer and some nice thoughts. So, we put together a little book and a little video to show you all about the war and show you what it is we remember. Okay, I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a bit sad as well.
It is a little bit sad. But I hope you still enjoy it.
Yeah, I hope.
Many, many years ago, over 100 years in fact, war raged across the land, leaving barely anything intact. It started with a single shot that killed the Archduke of Austria. Franz Ferdinand was the heir to the throne, and the country they blamed was Serbia. Austria-Hungary was angry, and a month later war was declared. The world then became a tangled mess, in which barely any country was spared. Germany joined Austria-Hungary, adding to the suspense. Italy joined as well, but for them, it was only for defence. Britain, France and Russia combined, the Triple Entente was formed. They united to stop a deadly invasion. From here on out, it was war. This was a very special type of war that created new tactics and machines. Things that had never been used before, and some that had never even been seen. Germany marched through Belgium, to be met by Britain and France. After a bloody battle, the Entente won, then they all dug in for defence. They dug trenches so enormous you could probably see them from space. For years these trenches barely moved. The war had become a stalemate. The Germans were very clever. They used concrete to make theirs strong. The others made theirs from sandbags and wood. They didn't think they'd be there for long. The area between was no man's land, filled with craters and barbed wire. It was the most dangerous place to find yourself because the enemy guns would be sure to fire. Men would go on a special mission to dig tunnels towards their foes. Their aim was to plant bombs beneath and then watch the explosion unfold. Artillery would fire bombs so high they would bombard the enemy lines, destroying everything as far as could see, leaving cratered land for miles. Animals served many purposes, and many of them would die. Carrier pigeons carried vital messages that saved a lot of lives. Horses pulled troops and weapons. So many of these poor creatures were slain, while dogs were guards or medics that would search for people in vain. The most ambitious invention was tanks. This was the first time they had been used. Mighty machines with armour and guns that left the enemy bemused. The war introduced aerial combat, where planes fought for the skies, with zeppelins, which are huge airships, that brought terror from way up high. The scariest thing was a deadly weapon that killed any that got in its way. A mist of deadly, poisonous gas that they had to be wary of night and day. Huge battles took place in which hundreds of thousands would die. They would charge towards their enemies without ever really knowing why. The war was not only in Europe though, it spanned through the Mediterranean and Africa. Soldiers were sent from Canada, Asia, Australia, New Zealand, and eventually even America. The war was very costly for everyone, and the German people became very poor. They decided that they had had enough and demanded an end to the war. Germany surrendered in a train carriage on the 11th November 1918. At 11 a.m. a ceasefire was ordered. It was the moment of which they'd all been waiting. millions upon millions would perish. People of all ethnics and beliefs. Each one of them fought so bravely, coming together to fight for peace. Every year we keep them in our memory on what's known as Remembrance Day. At 11 a.m. on the 11th of the 11th, we all fall silent and pray. So many brave people fought against such terrible villainy, lest we forget the day they set the world free from that tyranny.
Well, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it's very informative, and it gives you something to think about when we stop for a moment's silence. And I hope you've all got your poppies. Have you got a poppy, Noah?
Yeah.
Yeah? You don't have it on right now, do you? Don't have it on right now, but we do all have poppies.
Yeah.
All the money goes to a good cause.
We
so
always have to have one.
we always have to have one for Remembrance Day. We do, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. Take care, guys. Bye. You say bye?